After roughly a month, Mike and I have both been able to get our hands on the Switch 2. Now it's time to discuss the pros and cons of the console. This is the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. I'm your host, Spencer, and with me is a man who is just dying to make a Joy-Con joke. It's my co-host, Mike. Mike, how are we doing?
You froze me up. Dying to make a Joy-Con joke.
Yeah, because at the top I said the pros and cons of the console, and
I'm not that quick, dude.
you can think of one good con, the Joy-Con. But
But you see, I can't because I fucking hate the Joy-Con.
right, so that would be a con. But
Oh. Con?
Is that too meta?
No, it's Nintendo, dumbass.
Folks, that'll do it.
gonna be one of those kind of days.
Oh man, well I'm excited to be able to talk about the Switch 2, but before we do that, I want to hear about what other games you might have been playing.
No, you don't.
No, I really think I do.
Can I tell you what I'm going to be playing tonight, also known as last night for the listener? So kind of timely, kind of not.
Okay. What do you like?
It's not Super Mario Sunshine, so don't get excited.
I'm not.
Good.
Are you 99% positive that this will be the case, that you are going to follow through on it? Because I'd hate for you to be a liar.
I lie frequently, so I really don't have that much weight on it. But no, I'm hitting the links tonight on Switch Sports.
Oh,
for a little golf happy hour with my brother.
Okay, all right.
So I'm at least 99, not 100% sure that's gonna happen.
Very nice.
I already got the time set aside. We're gonna do it. See what my handicap's at these days. Probably so high they've got a space for me in front of the club.
So you're quick enough on that one, but
well, it's a little bit easier when you're setting yourself up.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. That's fun. Yeah, I got to play the golf for Switch Sports or whatever a few weeks ago. I know you and I had played it when we came and visited, and it's a lot of fun. I really got to pick that game up.
I thought you had it.
No, sir. Oh. I have Mario Golf. But yeah.
Well, that was fun for about a day too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why that game died off for me. I was having a lot of fun with that at the start.
We played that my dad Shelby and I played that when my parents visited. We played a lot of dumb golf games, honestly. And
Nice.
yeah, we were playing. Shelby and I were talking about. We're like, Mario Golf is fun. Why did we ever stop playing it? I think it's just one of those things.
Yeah, just kind of happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So a little golf. It'll
Yeah,
hit
so
the
we're
links.
playing that. Yeah. Other than that, God, where did this week go? I'm pretty certain I played some more of the Division 2.
Okay, nice.
Just A+ game. So good.
Yeah, I love that you worked your way back to that, and you're enjoying it. It's great.
Yeah, and what sucks now, other than the fact that I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima in a week, which I don't know if that's entirely true. I remember playing it. I just can't remember if it was this week or last week.
Sure.
Now that I have a feel for the looting aspect of it and knowing when I should switch gear out,
Mm-hmm.
it's if I keep playing, I'll have this flow and I won't even have to really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't think I had anything other than that.
All right. All right.
Not a whole lot of Switch 2 this week, so this will be a fun conversation.
I'm very much looking forward to this conversation. Um, trying to think what I can report back on. Oh, I finally got a new power brick thing, whatever, for my 64.
Mm-hmm.
And so Shelby and I were getting ready to jump back into Ocarina and got it all pulled up and everything. We were trying to do the whole song and dance of remembering where we were at because it had been a few weeks since we had played. And I was like looking through a couple of different like walkthroughs and stuff to try and figure out where we were. And I was like, oh, nice. Okay, I remember everything that we did. And came to the realization that we everything that we had done before the power brick gave out was lost. And so
Oh, just like that day,
just
not
that day, yeah, didn't
okay.
didn't
I
wipe
was
the
like,
entire
oh,
save because that would just make me probably not play it.
yeah.
But still like about an hour's plus worth of work, which is almost just as annoying. um so yeah, we were like, fuck, we have to redo everything that we literally just did, which is not an insignificant amount of work. What if we just play Mario Kart World? So then we just played Mario Kart World,
Hell yeah.
which is a lot of fun. And yeah, I can also report back. I haven't played any more Red Dead since we last talked, but I do plan on putting a good bit more work into that probably this weekend. And then I've also picked back up Persona 3, uh, the like port version of it, not the remake version of it, because I bought the port version of it before the remake came out. Um, and yeah, that game's a lot of fun. I love the Persona games, and coming off of Metaphor and finally getting past I would say like a decent chunk of the intro. It's like finally you feel like you're kind of in like the groove with the game, and so it took me a minute to get there, but now that I'm there, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I want out of a game right now. But yeah, I think that's all I got.
Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I could report back, more stuff that I've been playing on the Switch too, but unfortunately, I would say that's probably my biggest shortcoming with the console.
Ain't no games.
Yeah, it's probably not a really like it's not a super fair thing to say because yeah, it has Cyberpunk. Yeah, it does have games on it, but
Yeah. I mean, but
what?
it's similar to what happened with the PS5 and
Yep.
Series X, where like there was one launch game and then the rest were just upscaled, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mario Kart World, ton of fun. Um, I'm like I'm having such a blast with that game. And if there is a console that isn't going to just like be putting out banger after banger after banger, I already have like tail end of like Switch One games to catch up on anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like for the most part, I'm thinking about it. And it's like, well, if they actually do a decent job with their releases and stuff, I can probably stay on top of their first party games. So the Donkey
Don't
Kong
say that too
game,
loud.
yeah, uh, so true. But the Donkey Kong game is coming out, later this month, like tail end of July. I don't know why July 25th is sticking out in my head. Um, but yeah, like I don't know if I'll get it day one necessarily, but I certainly could, and I'll have it done by the time what's the next one that I'm going to be looking forward to. Probably Pokemon, honestly, at that point, which technically isn't a Switch 2 exclusive, but kind of the whole reason why I wanted to get a Switch 2 in a somewhat timely manner was because of, uh, there being a benefit in regards to playing the Pokemon game. But that's kind of the glaring shortcoming for the console for me, at least. Is there anything that really sticks out for you?
In terms of shortcomings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I as I was joking, but also entirely serious earlier, like the Joy Cons suck.
Do you?
They're obviously better than the Switch One.
Yeah, that was
I
going to be my
appreciate that they're
question.
a little bit bigger,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like they're still Joy Cons. My hand still cramps.
Yeah.
Like I almost find the console unplayable in like just handheld mode. One, because of like just how awkward you have to be with the Joy Cons, and two, like since it is a little bit heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which like kind of double edged sword because I appreciate the heaviness because it makes it feel a little more quality. But I was playing Mario Kart like sitting in bed and just found myself like frequently putting the thing down.
Yeah. Yeah, I admittedly haven't played it in handheld mode. I don't think at all. Uh, Mostly because each time I'm playing, so far at least, it's been Shelby and I both playing Mario Kart World together. So,
Yeah,
uh, but yeah, the Joy-Con up front feels, to me at least, like it feels so much better than the Switch one. But at the same time, it's like it's still just like such a small controller
yeah.
that like just
I wish they would have.
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it just doesn't feel right. It does feel better, which is a win.
Hmm.
And I get the whole thing that they're going for, and it's sick that it literally just snaps onto the console, and then boom, now you're playing in handheld mode, and you can snap it off, and now you got two controllers to play with. It's neat. It's really cool. The overall uh, execution really of the Switch and now the Switch 2, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you're like this being like one controller in and of itself kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I think if it were like a little bit wider, that would be helpful for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is better. It is better. So, and I think I'm being a little picky because I think you change it a whole lot more and you're not able to get the form factor that you get with the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but on the flip side of it, um, it's also super nice that it basically comes with two controllers out of the box,
Right. Right. Exactly.
which has been pretty much perfect for us. I mean, we have definitely come to the conclusion that we need to try to find pro controllers. But again, just like I can't stand controller economy these days.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're what, 80, $90 a pop?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if the Switch 1 Pro controllers are technically better in that regard. I mean, yeah, I guess they
Can you
are.
use Switch? Can you use Switch One Pro controllers on the Switch too?
I, I looked it up. I have yet to actually do it, but yes, I think you can.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. Low key, I'm kind of like, uh, ha- do I care about having those like back paddle buttons that aren't paddles on the Switch Pro controller? The Switch 2
Uh,
Pro. Like, do I care about having that on my Switch? I barely,
I,
I barely use it when it comes to my PlayStation, though I have found some use cases. Like, I don't know if I care enough that I probably would just opt to save the $30 by getting the Switch One Pro controller and just getting a second one of those.
Yeah. I think every controller I've ever had that had back paddles, the only reason I use them is because I felt like I had to.
Yeah, you like specifically hunt out a use case for them, and while helpful, they're never necessary. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean what I find myself doing is just replacing like the face buttons.
Yeah.
Um I will say for the Switch, I have a third party controller like the GameCube one that somebody made.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what company made it. Um and those had two like back paddle things. And for Mario Kart, it was awesome because I changed the back paddle to X so I could use that to look behind me.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Since Mario Kart 8, like it was such a pain in the ass to block items. I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember like old Mario Kart games, you could just kind of like hold it out there and it would protect you,
Yeah.
but you can't do that as far as I know in Mario Kart 8. So
Now,
anyway, that was the only use I had for it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our Switch One is, I mean, it's gonna get barely any usage at this point. So
Right.
if I can just switch the Pro controllers over, that'd be great. I need to fix one of them, but I don't need to spend that kind of money. Like maybe we'll buy one, but I don't know. I'll want like a real controller for when Metroid comes out.
Yeah. You're not going to use the mouse and keyboard, or not mouse and keyboard, but the mouse function and
I still haven't been able to figure out how to get the mouse to work on mine. Like I even tried to do the demo and it just like wouldn't register. So
hmm.
I don't know if mine's fucked or I also don't think I really care.
Yeah, I also haven't tried.
Like part of me wishes they would have just made the Switch $25 cheaper and not done that.
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
But
Um,
can't win them all.
no, certainly cannot. I will say, I've only had mine now for I I don't even know if I've technically had it for a full week. Was it last week that I told you I was getting it, or
I think so.
yeah? So I haven't even had it for a full week, but I will say that like from the jump, just like unpacking it and everything and setting it up onto the TV and everything like that, like the overall feel of the console, everything about it feels really good. Again, the only game I've really been playing on it is Mario Kart World. Again, probably the game that matters the most. Because it needed to be the thing to move the console, and you know, I will say personally, like I'm having a blast with Mario Kart World. Did I need to get the console right now? No. Like, is Mario Kart World technically enough for me? No. But do I think it is enough to move the console like by itself? Like, yeah, I think it definitely like lives up to what it's trying to be and everything like that. But um, I think for most people, it's tough to say that it's worth $500 to just play the new Mario Kart game. But anybody who's going
Yeah.
to be using their Switch as a primary console, so they are going to be taking advantage of like Cyberpunk being on the Switch and all that stuff, like you could definitely do a whole lot worse than the Switch too. I mean, it's 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 impressive. It does feel like that much better than the original Switch, and everything about Mario Kart World, to dive into that a little bit on my end. Also, is just the entire feel of that game is so good. I keep saying to Shelby, it's capturing all of the magic of Super Mario Wonder that we got on the tail end of the Switch, in my opinion. All the animation and visuals of Mario Kart World are just like so peak. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just like too hyped up front for something new, but everything about it just Feels really, really great right now.
No, I agree. It feels fresh. And I wonder if like how much of that is the fact that Mario Kart 8 is what, an 11-year-old
Yeah,
game,
so old. Yeah.
possibly possibly even older.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, you can kind of like even with what we've seen from the new Donkey Kong game, like you can kind of tell that Nintendo's going through like a refresh,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I agree. I think it looks really good. Everything looks super smooth. I mean, Nintendo, if Mario Kart World is any indication of what this generation is going to be like for Nintendo, Nintendo's doing what they need to do, and
Mm-hmm.
that's keep everything that makes their games great and just kind of modernize it, make it look and play and feel a little bit better, but not change the general formula too much. At least, I mean, you can say that Mario Kart World is unlike any other Mario Kart we've ever seen.
Right.
Um, I'm super stoked about Mario Kart World because of that. Because like it's not just track racing. You can do, you know, the paths like we did what is it called? Knockout Tour.
Yeah.
We did one of those, and other than it being like we started at like 10 o'clock at night on a work week, because we didn't think it was going to take that long.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. The knockout
Uh
tour is so refreshing. Um, that's what we ended up pivoting to when we were streaming on Monday. We ended up just doing knockout tour, and we hadn't touched it yet. We had done every single Grand Prix, and we did all of them on 50cc, so we could like get used to the tracks and how the carts control, and like just
mhm.
get a good feel for the overall game. And obviously, when you play on 50cc, you just like completely leave the computer in the dust. Like you win by an hour. So we switch over to knockout tour, and it's like, well, like one, we're streaming, so like it's not going to be very entertaining if we also just do knockout tour on 50cc. But we have a good feel for it and everything. We're just going to jump all the way up to 150cc, to give it a go. And like it was so much fun because it was challenging. Like it was actually like pretty challenging. I know there were a couple of times uh where like Shelby, was like caught in the middle of the pack, which is like sometimes the worst place to be in a Mario Kart race, but also at the same time you never want to technically be all the way at the front, until the very end. And there were a couple of times where she was like caught in the middle, and like it was just absolute mayhem because of all the racers that there are. That like she would miss a cut, and it was just like holy shit, like this is no joke. Um, it's a marathon for sure. Like you really got to be in it. And both of our eyes kept drying out because we were like not blinking while playing it. But yeah, the knockout tour is a blast.
Have you played online yet?
We have not. No.
Okay. I don't think I have any desire to, because I've been seeing videos of like all these people doing the crazy shit with like the rail rides, the wall rides, and
Oh
like
yeah.
basically being able to skip whole portions of a lap. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to put myself through that. I'm going to just stay on the track.
But can you? Because yeah, we haven't even tried. But can you like could we set up like a room that's like just us? Like we aren't like putting ourselves out into like the masses.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I would hope so because yeah,
Yeah.
people who I guess call it competitive. You can call it competitive. I don't think you really have a rank or anything, but uh, people get very serious, and yeah, I've seen the clips as well. It's wild and fun and cool that you can do a lot of this stuff, but also at the
Oh,
same time,
absolutely.
at the same time, I'm like that wouldn't be fun to go against.
No.
If the computer started pulling out that shit, I would delete the game.
Oh yeah. And I just I
uh,
have no desire to be that good. I
yeah.
just want to play Mario Kart. Like I even find myself like when I'm playing it, I do the rail ride just to like because I feel like I have to because it's a new feature.
Yeah.
I don't actually feel like it's doing anything for me. Kind of like you said when you play on 50cc and you're 2 laps ahead of the computers, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna dig around and do some fun stuff. Sure, whatever.
Yeah. I did find that like doing knockout on 150 to try and like catch back up to the people. You gotta try and utilize the rail rides where you can to give yourself a little boost because you can like
Does it actually help though?
because you can like hop off of it. So like it like you know you know how like when you do like a little jump if you like tap R1 or whatever, you'll do like a little hop like you would to start a drift or
Yeah.
whatever, and you like get that little like trick or whatever that you do in the air, and then when you land, you like technically get like a that little bit of speed boost off of it.
Mm.
You can do the same thing off of the rails and stuff.
But see, my brain goes, do you get more from the boost than you do like from wasting time by being in the air?
I don't know, but I will say, I will say that when you have like the really long, like straight rails, I feel like when you get on those, if you just mash the R button to keep hopping, I feel like I'm going faster, so I'll keep doing it. I
Yeah.
can't confirm that I'm going faster. And to your point, you're right. Like the boost might just be making up for the little bit of time you wasted in midair, but I feel like I'm going faster, so I will keep doing it. Thank you.
I feel like the only like way I strategize rails is if it's a curved rail, like on the inside of a turn.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
like that makes sense to me then, because that is the shortest path.
Yeah, it makes
But
sense. Yeah.
depending on where you get on it, I guess. But technically it could not be. Um, I don't know. All that to say, it's a lot of fun. Um, we did when we did Knockout Tour, we just did it on 150 right away. So we're
Hmm.
like, whatever, let's just see what happens. And it was like actually pretty challenging. One to get in first, and two to stay in first. It was just like item after item after item after item.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nuts. I think we ran through all of them. I think there's 7, maybe there's 8, and we came in first on 2 of them, maybe. And it was because we were like doing call outs for like we were working together to get there. Um, we were actively like if I was in first, Shelby was in second, running enforcer with like red shells in case somebody passed her, and then she would snipe them, and like that was how we needed to do it because yeah, it's no joke. It's just item after item after item. You get into first, a blue shell immediately comes and takes you out, and then there's a country mile between you and the fucking baby Mario who's ripping away on the track.
Yeah.
But it all just like feels so good, and like it like having that like level of difficulty or whatever for from the computer is like nice. Like it's nice that you don't just like easily win every single time. Again, it's probably because I'm not jumping half the track, but yeah, it's a real satisfying game. um but do you feel like it's enough to move the console by itself?
No, I mean I don't think any one game is enough to move a console.
Well, now
um,
hang on. Before we move on, let's think about this.
okay.
Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, if we're gonna get to that point, sure. If Rockstar made their own console and it was the only thing you could get Grand Theft Auto on,
All right, so there are, I'm being pedantic, but
I mean, for what it's worth, if Mario Kart World didn't exist, we would not have gotten a Switch 2 right away.
Right.
And even with that, but I guess the other side of that is with that, we, really had no plan to get a Switch 2. It just happened to work out.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think
Um,
that would be like the big takeaway. But like if instead of Mario Kart World it was Donkey Kong, would you have even gone to the Walmart on day one still?
no, probably not.
Right.
It would have had to be like Metroid.
Right.
Um,
And I guess is Metroid for you similar to like Pokemon for me because technically Metroid Prime 4 is going to be also on Switch, right? Like
yeah.
it's kind of in the in between um state, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was supposed to be a Switch 1 game and then just got pushed off, pushed off, pushed off.
So now it'll like there will be a Switch 1 and a Switch 2 version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's how that's working, I don't know if it's actually two cartridges or if it's just Switch 1 and then when you put it in your Switch 2, it kind of upscales it.
Yeah, I don't know how that works either. I'll have to
Or you have to pay the $10.
yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that and make sure we don't fuck it up. I guess if anything it would be that you would put the Switch 1 cartridge in and you should have bought the Switch 2 cartridge, but if you put the Switch 1 cartridge in, you can pay like you said the $10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Which might technically be the move for certain games if well no, you wouldn't be able to play it at the same time. I don't know. Forget it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably just going to get it digitally. So,
Right. Um yeah, yeah. I mean Mario Kart World is yeah, it's kind of only the only thing I can think of that is like in a perfect in between, where it's like I don't need to rush, but at least I have this if I do get the
yeah.
console.
My thought too is, and, God knows that I'm not going to actually do this to the extent that I should, but I have so many since I got a Switch, the original Switch so late into the cycle. Like
Mhm.
I have so many games that I could pay that upgrade fee for and play.
Mhm.
Um like Legend of Zelda games. If I really felt like doing that, I feel like I've seen enough of those games to know that I'm not going to be playing Breath of the Wild and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Um but there are other games too that I could play. So it's like there's no catalog.
Right. No, it definitely has a catalog. Like you said at the top, it's just in a very similar position as as the state of the PS5 and the Series X when they released, where it's just kind of like some of these games are releasing on both, you know, some of them if it is an older game, will receive some like benefit if you play it on the new one.
Yeah.
Uh, you have such a large back catalog. Are you really that upset about it? It's like, yeah, no.
For us too, um, it's kind of funny. We almost regret getting Split Fiction because we kind of wish we would have gotten it on the Switch too.
Yeah.
Because it would have been such a perfect game for it. Um, and also like as a very like niche problem. The only room in our house right now that has air conditioning is our bedroom, and the Switch 2 and the Xbox One X are the only consoles we have in there. Um, But we were thinking too, like when we travel, and I think our reason for really liking the Switch is we travel with it all the time.
Hmm.
Even if we're not sure that we're gonna play it wherever we go, we bring it just in case.
Yeah, it's small enough. It's not a burden.
Yeah, we got a case for it that holds like the console, the dock, all the cables,
Mm-hmm.
the Joy-Con like controller,
Yep.
and then it also has a spot for a pro controller. But
Brother, I think we got the same exact case.
it's Zaddy or something like that.
What did you call
I
me?
bought it off Amazon. Yeah, I called you Zaddy. I've
Uh,
gotten their cases before. My Xbox One X case is from them, and I always love it. Like I
yeah.
feel like I can pack that thing up and put it anywhere, and I don't have to really worry about it.
I mean, the nice thing
It's
too
pretty
about the Switch is that like it doesn't necessarily require a TV. You know, like
right.
you can set it up in the handheld position. You can use the stand and still be able to play. And now, granted, it's a small screen to be trying to make sure you have enough room for two people to have a view of it and everything. But like it does have that option, which is also just like so great.
Yeah, and I mean, it's better than the Switch One, and we've
Yep.
definitely like traveled with the Switch One and set up in a I don't know somebody's house where we didn't have access to a TV, or like sometimes we just brought it in like the small carrying case that literally just holds the console,
Hmm.
and it was enough for us to just like get a game in. So
Yeah.
I think the Switch 2 being a little bit bigger is kind of nice. And then, having a better kickstand than the first Switch is obviously nice as well. Um, yeah, I see us using it like that. I mean, we might use it that way this weekend. We'll see.
Hell yeah.
I was going to say something else about it, but now I completely forgot. Yeah, well,
So
I mean, overall, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no.
I was going to say overall, I'm glad we got it. We haven't put it like used it a ton, but we also like our video game playing time in the summer also tends to go down pretty significantly.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
being said, we have considered, because you can play it in tablet mode, like setting it up on our deck and playing it outside that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's the versatility of it. I mean, again, the original Switch was like that, and it's fantastic that they didn't like deviate away. If anything, they in some ways leaned into it a bit more. But
Hmm.
yeah, the versatility of the console is such a great selling point of it. Um, yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I'm definitely happy I got it already. I knew I was going to want it. Like, I know that or I have enough confidence. I shouldn't say I know, but I have enough confidence that there isn't going to be any shortage of like good gaming experiences for it. Um, you know, the only thing is that there just aren't enough right now for me. But
Hmm.
again, I don't really see that as like a huge issue. I didn't pre-order the thing. I didn't, fight with scalpers or anything like that in order to get it. Um, I didn't go through any of that like hell to then have something that I like immediately don't use. The right opportunity came up, and I've really enjoyed it. I think that's where, like, if I were to give like a final some sort of like stamp of like, should you buy it, should you not buy it, it's like I think you just really need to know what it is that you like want out of it, and to like think hard about if you're going to be able to get that, because as it stands right now, like I would still say it's like not a need to buy for me. So if you're somebody who's like in my boat where it's like the only game you care about is Mario Kart World, I don't think you need to rush for it. If the right opportunity comes up, then nab it, and go crazy in Mario Kart World. But until there are other experiences, it's not necessarily worth rushing out to get right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, certainly don't pay a scalper for it.
Right, right. I mean, you can definitely tell that it is like a worthwhile upgrade. Um, and I have, again, like the utmost faith that it's going to have plenty of peak experiences. It just doesn't have it right now. But it's not
I'm
like a huge worry.
I've talked about this before too as like one of the reasons I was interested in getting a Switch 2, and this may have been like the closing argument for me in getting one, and that's the GameCube emulator.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I see myself using the console to sink a ton of time into that, just to catch up on GameCube games that I never played, or even just to revisit some. I think that's, I mean, that's going to be worth the value to me. Um, and to be able to like play that when I'm traveling. And I was a little disappointed that there was only 3 games at launch. I was under the impression there was going to be a lot more, but they've already added. I think this week they're adding more, 1 or 2 more games. They announced which they announced one of them. I forget what they said it was going to be, but
Yeah, I mean, I even knew because you had said, but I was a little disappointed when like going into the online and like looking at the virtual consoles and stuff that they have, and seeing the massive library. Like I hadn't looked at it in so long. The massive library that there is for the NES, the SNES, the 64, the Game Boy Advance, right? And getting to the GameCube and seeing 4 titles, and I was just like, oh, yeah, they really got to
yeah,
build this out. But you know that there are so many like bangers from the GameCube. They already showed a carousel during the Switch Direct, the Switch 2 Direct, that um was going, that they're like the games that are going to come to the console. So we already have a good idea of like what's in the pipeline probably coming up soon. But yeah, um that's going to have a ton of value once it gets built out just a little bit more.
they need to hurry up and do Sunshine so I actually play it.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it's not on there yet. I'm
To be
kind of
honest
surprised
with
it
you,
wasn't first.
if that was one of the first ones, I probably would have had that game.
Yeah, because wasn't Sunshine a GameCube release? Like, didn't wasn't it
I
like bundled with a lot of
it was
GameCubes?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll get added here in a week or so, and then you'll have 2 weeks to try and get it done.
Yeah. If not, then I'm gonna have to like move my GameCube somewhere where I can actually play it and not dive heat stroke.
Yeah,
I don't even know if this TV in this room has. I don't even know if this one has like the old RCA ports.
you're gonna have to buy a little converter like I have
Yeah,
to be able to stream, which it's something so funny about. I mean, it's this way even if you play it using the right cables and everything. Because when you play like these old consoles on new televisions, doesn't hit the same.
yeah.
Feels a little
You
off
know how many
sometimes.
times? You know how many times I go to a thrift store or a garage sale and I see like an old Sony Titantron for sale,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I can just throw that somewhere.
One day.
I can put that on the floor of my office and sit on the floor like the old days.
Hell yeah.
We used to have to lug those motherfuckers around.
Yeah, the good old days.
Hmm.
um, any final thoughts on the Switch 2 from you?
No, I'm ultimately excited for it. I'm excited to see like what IPs they're going to do with it, which ones they're going to refresh. I feel like that's so vague right now that that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of now the excitement of every like announcement going forward.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Mario Baseball.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, I know.
So that'll be on GameCube, I think, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I swear to God, if we get another Mario Tennis or Mario Golf game before we get like I can stomach another Mario Soccer, Mario Strikers game. I can stomach that. Um, but golf or tennis is gonna make me lose my mind if we get that before we get a baseball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I'm really excited to see what they do with World, like Mario Kart World. Like they're gonna have to keep injecting value into that. So I think there's a ton of potential there too. So I'm really interested to see what they come up with in terms of treating that almost like a live service game. Um, but yeah, like you have the new Mario Party, right, that released towards the tail end of the Switch. So it's going to be interesting. Like, how long now is it going to be until we get like a new Mario Party? And what kind of like attention and love do they give to that? And um, or are we going to be itching for it? And 5 years into the console, we'll finally get it. So, but yeah, the console as a whole just has a ton of potential, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with it. And with that, that'll do it for this episode. So if you have any thoughts, any hot takes on the Switch 2, you can go over to the YouTube channel and let us know your thoughts on your Switch 2. If you don't have a Switch 2, we don't want to hear it. Okay, so maybe try not being broke. Is that something that we can say? just
I
just
know, but you said it.
just
You said it.
just
Gotta live with
pay
it now.
pay $450, buy the physical copy of Mario Kart World so that you're out an extra $30, and then buy Borderlands 4, because if you actually care, you'll do that. But yeah, let us know your thoughts over there. Also, if you could leave us a rating or review wherever you do listen to the podcast, that would be greatly appreciated. And as always, if you could share the podcast with a friend, it would help us out. Other than that, we will talk to you next week.